Hello, everyone. My name is Bill King. This is my 13th year working here at Central Valley High School. Along with teaching language arts, I am also the head coach for the cross country and track and field programs. Now, for the past however many years, I have primarily been teaching a majority of the 10th grade language arts sections, along with the 10th grade sections. The English department, while we are doing some refining of our curriculum, we are doing some co-teaching primarily in the midday. So I am working with Mrs. Greco on our English 12 British Literature course. So this will be, as I mentioned, a midday class, so it will go the entire year. Unlike our 9th and 10th grade classes, English 12 is focused primarily on British literature. So some much older works, coming towards the end of the course to some more contemporary pieces. So along with that information, the majority of the course, we are going to be studying some of England's historical events and the resulting literary canon. Students will demonstrate their understanding of the course through quizzes, tests, writings, and various assignments. As is every language arts class, the curriculum encompasses material beyond the literature itself, relevant vocabulary, writing instruction, grammar review as needed. I just wanted to put some quick information on that. We are currently having our midday students work on the beginning to draft their first essay. So along with the citations, we've also, myself, Mrs. Greco, been taking a look at specific conventions and grammar use. So some of those things that they've worked on throughout their English career, not just in high school, probably going back to middle school, those things are going to be reviewed as well. And then finally, this final piece here, and the application of new skills as well as those acquired in earlier courses will be utilized throughout each of our classes. Again, because it's a midday class, it goes the entire school year. So the course overview, the Anglo-Saxon period, and I mentioned come the spring, we have some more contemporary works. So working in the Anglo-Saxon period, thousands of years later to 20th century, to the present, some much more contemporary works our students will take a look at. As always, for our district, for 10 plus years or so, we have utilized the iPad. So please make sure that you have a charged iPad. I can speak so far that our students have done an excellent job in the midday having their iPads ready to go for the 40 or so minutes that we are working each and every day. Also required, make sure they do have a pencil each and every day. Most of the work is done on the iPad. That being said, tests, specific writings are going to be done paper pencil, so it's much easier for myself and Mrs. Greco if students do have those each and every day. A folder or a binder, we do check for this at the beginning of the semester, and also a notebook, which is also checked at the beginning of the semester. Fortunately, again, all of the students had that, so let's continue that work and continue to utilize that the entire year. Grading. Much of a student's grade is determined by tests and writings. As I mentioned, we are beginning to draft our first longer paper and are currently working on our tests for the Anglo-Saxon period. However, many projects and other assignments, as well as class participation, also contribute to grades. Tests are always announced well ahead of time. Quizzes may or may not be, so students should always come prepared for class with all work completed. Mrs. Greco and I, again, I'm leading on Mrs. Greco. She's had years and years of experience in English 12. She does an excellent job of giving our students different sheets and activities for every one of the works that we are taking a look at. And with each of these works, there are certain ones that are going to be checked for points. So working diligently every day and making sure those are done is extremely important for students to do well in English 12. So there are some of I made mention of this Anglo-Saxon definition essay, this paper that we are beginning to draft in the midday class. And then some of the other ones coming up as we work through the school year, a mini presentation about a medieval work, project related to an Elizabethan drama, and a research paper on a Victorian author. That again we will be working towards as we go through the semester. Absences. Generally, tests and quizzes may be made up via an alternate assessment within 1 week. Failure to comply with this policy will result in a score of 0. The biggest thing here, everyone, is keeping that line of communication. Mrs. Greco and I, things have gone well so far. We've had some students that have had some extended absences. We will do our best to work with you, but we do want that work to be done in a timely manner so that we continue to move through class material. I won't hit on all of these, but some of the rules for class conduct. Please be on time. If you're 1 or 2 minutes late, we'll simply issue a warning. If tardiness occurs again in the same month, you'll receive a detention for blocks 2 to 4 classes or a tardy for block 1. Each 2-month clears any prior offenses. This is just, again, in relationship to school policy on late to class. Again, some of the other information about delivering information to iPads, phones being away during class, not having earbuds or AirPods in, signing out for the hall pass. I mentioned already that third to last bullet point about remembering to charge your iPad regularly. This has been excellent so far with our midday students, so we have no complaints about that. Aside from special occasions, no food in the class. Again, no problems with our midday as well there. And perhaps most importantly, respect your classmates, yourself, and myself and Mrs. Greco, and we will recuperate those feelings. Synchronous learning. I made mention of this if you watch my 10th grade video. If we have a FID day, snow day, where we are not physically in the building, please make sure that our students are logging on to Google Classroom. Myself and Mrs. Greco will be able to launch a Google Meet where they will be able to, or excuse me, we will be able to run the same type of class or very, very similar to what we do during a school day, just not physically in the building. So making sure that they're logging in to Google Classroom. Myself and Mrs. Greco will both be on the Meet, and we will conduct our midday that way. Again, I want to thank everyone for the couple of minutes that I was able to share the work that Mrs. Greco and I are currently working on. As I said, this is a collaborative effort, so myself and Mrs. Greco will be perhaps trying some new ideas. And if anybody has any questions specifically for me, the best way to reach me is through my school email, wking@centralvalleysd.net. Thank you again for your time. And again, reach out if you have any questions.